Hi, I'm Peggy,
I'm Cody.
I'm James.
and welcome to the 2023 January episode of More or Less. So excited to be here.
And I'm excited to be here too. This podcast is brought to you by Baker Orthotics and Prosthetics. We are here for all of your prosthetic and orthotic solutions. Give us a call today, 817-332-7313. You will find that in the description of this podcast, wherever you find it. Today, it's 2023.
Can you believe that? It's crazy.
Wow.
We're going to talk about where we're going in the future with this year.
We are. We
Yeah.
are, because I remember when I was young in school, like in second grade, figuring out how old I was going to be in 2000, and now we're in 2023. I literally thought, like, I'm 40, going to be 49. I like in my mind had me like geriatric, in the 2020s, because I had like this roaring 20s thing going on, and then I thought, no, I'll be in a walker, but I don't have a walker. So yay, it's going to be a great year.
Exactly.
So how's everybody's holiday before we jump in? Did everybody have a good break?
Well, I had a great holiday. I got a chance to get gifts that I bought for myself through my kids. It was unique. What an awesome experience. Where they buy, I get it, and I already knew what I was getting because I had to pay for it. So it was awesome.
Were they generous? I'm sure they were very generous.
They were, yeah. For me, I was like, I knew when I got the tie. I was like, oh, they're so sweet. They put a lot of thought into it.
They got you just what you wanted to get you.
Yeah, and the same cologne they bought me the year before. Yeah, that's awesome.
There you go. Hope you like it. You'll probably get it next year.
Yeah.
So 2022 saw a huge innovation with Power Knee, which the new generation Power Knee, and I know Cody's shaking his head.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm kidding.
So completely, I know, Cody, for you, that was a true life-changing moment. So I think in 2023, we're going to see more people being able to experience Power Knee, and not just Power Knee technology, but technology as a whole. I think that the O&P is moving in that direction.
Oh, yes. So we had, a huge year with the launching of the Power Knee. And just, that's a big leap forward in prosthetic knee technology, not to be understated. So we're now coming off of a year of expressing that the technology is there, right? So now people are seeing it and hungry for it, right? I will also just be open with, there were supply chain issues over the last year that affected everyone, including the Power Knee, manufacturing process. Honestly, yeah. That was a very real thing. So I think what we're going to see is that's now cleared up. A lot of people are of the understanding that this technology really is real. It does work. And there's going to be a lot of access to that. Not only that, but let's, move out further from that. There's innovation in the field that is now coming to fruition as people come together as groups again and are putting their heads together and are figuring out how to marry that whole working in your own space and then working together in person, and how do you bring these groups and these groups together across large spans of geographical space, and saying, how do we innovate together, right? So what you've got is a whole community of people who are bringing ideas to fruition. There's less restrictions now from the days of COVID. I'm going to spit on something we don't talk about that, right? But we're coming out of that fog, so to speak, right? And everybody's able to bring these things to the table. And we can just jump into a few of those different aspects.
I'll jump in real quick. For Christmas, my son got another 3D printer. So it now looks like I have like a little factory in my back room with all of these printers, printing plastic things. But the one thing that I've noticed is there's a lot of different crowdsource and crowd sharing sites for 3D print models. And there's a lot more for not only the prosthetic hand, which I think everybody has seen, they're on the news, school groups make them, but for accessories as well. I just printed off a liner dryer. You can get like things that clip onto your socket, like little pockets. Not that it's necessarily something that's a game changer, but I think that 3D printing is really going to allow people the opportunity to even personalize their device even more. And I think anytime somebody is able to really personalize something, it's another level of acceptance, and it's another layer of empowerment. So I'm kind of excited about that with the 3D printing. I think it's going to go into offices, but I think from a home model as well, it's going to be a game changer.
And that technology's become much more affordable.
Absolutely.
For people to get their hands on it and do their own customization. Customizing is a very real part of our psyche. As individuals who have limb loss and limb difference, we really like to focus in on our individuality and express it, right? But on top of that, with 3D printing in particular, I'll just jump into this a little bit. The materials science around it is getting to the point where the bonds are strong enough to handle the human load on, ambulation. So as we talk about, we've seen the hands progress, and those will continue to progress. We're going to start seeing this utilized more widely in the lower limb technology realm. So just think about, the person. A person walks, on average 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day. You've got a lot of forces going through a prosthesis. There are other aspects in orthotics, in that side of the field, foot orthotics and ankle foot orthotics and all of those things. We are seeing now that this can withstand that daily load for years at a time, as opposed to maybe a few months, where in the past these things would shatter. Right. And we've got to be safe. Right.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
This is on the human body. Right. Yeah. So that's where it's kind of been like on the fence. Are we good on it? We can make the shapes. Who's it going to last?
Right. Are you safe wearing it?
Yeah. So I think we're on that cusp, and people have got
exciting. We were talking before we started to record. It kind of feels like the Wild West in 3D printing right now, that there's so many free designs and people are trying new things and trying to figure it out. So if you have a 3D printer, it's a really kind of fun time to get involved with that whole community. And I don't know. And speaking of community, I think if you're looking for a community in 2023, we really invite you to join the Whole Person Network as well. So talk to your prosthetist about joining that next time you go, or give them a call. What about you, James?
Well, listen, I'm going to say it this way. What we're talking about on the 3D printers, I know nothing about. I am 75 years old, so I don't know anything about that. You said something about you thought 2020 was 2000, and you looked out to 2020. I actually figured I'd be completely gray-haired, and well, ignore that. But I would say this: watching the Power Knee, watching what Cody was able to do in his transition, and him communicate about it. Even when they had the making of the Cody movie there in Baker, when I was visiting with the Power Knee, he's kind of the face of it, I think, aren't you? You're like the Gerber baby of Power Knees.
I am a Gerber baby. No,
Are you?
No, I'm not a Gerber baby. I wish
well,
I was.
He's a Gerber baby of the Power Knee, because he was. Yeah, he could have been. Yeah.
If I shave, I could definitely pass.
Yeah, but watching mentoring and working with so many amputees across the clinics, going to the CAF events. Now, the only time I saw the Power Knee really do something different was watching someone learn to ride a bike using the Power Knee. It's first time ever, and that was an above the knee We got a prosthetist actually in Indiana. Got on a bicycle. I'd never rode a bike before. Always been on a stationary bike, and so there was a lot of fear but he was able to switch modes with the leg and was able to do it. I was like, that's amazing to me. The capabilities that have been given back to people.
The technology, I think, is going to continue to astound into 2023, and it's a really fun trend. So speaking of technology, the technology is great, something that I really want to bring to the attention of the community and kind of keep your ears out for it. We're going to be talking more about it as the year progresses, and opportunities to really become involved is the initiative So Kids Can Move. Now, this is an initiative with AOPA, NAAOP, the Academy. We've got the Amputee Coalition in there, and I think there's another one. And it's the whole idea is, we got to the point where insurance companies will cover a basic prosthetic, but they don't cover the sport devices. And we've talked about that.
Wrong.
We've talked about the grant opportunities. We've talked about fundraisers and things like that. But the fact is that insurance still isn't covering them. And we have the proof that there's so many health benefits to moving and mental benefits to moving, especially for kids. So this initiative is being launched to bring attention to the fact that these devices are not covered by insurance for kids. So kids, can have a prosthesis and walk to school and walk through their gym class and things like that. But if they want to play soccer or they need a higher level, higher impact, families really have to look beyond their insurance, which they pay for every month. So the initiative is to really bring attention to that and to try to force the hand and change some regulations and legislation so that insurance companies will cover the sport devices for children. I understand that this is an initiative for kids. It will, once we establish it for kids, it's easier to fight for kids. I think we all know that. You go in with a battle for a kid and you melt hearts right away. So we melt the hearts with the kids, get their prosthetics, and then we fight for the adults. So it's So Kids Can Move. We're going to be talking more about it. I'm super, super excited because there's nothing I like more than kind of a big advocacy fight and getting up on the hill and really sharing stories and trying to get what people really, truly need, not what everybody else thinks that we should have.
It's been a while since.
I'm sorry?
No, So Kids Can Move
Yes.
is such an important thing because I looked at the 1992 Paralympics. I was 18 at that time, and I was faster than every one of those Paralympians. Never even knew about it, and I was doing it with a K1 leg. If I had had a prosthetic that would have been fit, my college basketball time, everything that I accomplished where I dealt with boils, problems, breaking them, sockets breaking, doing all these things that I should not have had to do to try to make a leg do what it can't do. Have an energy return. Kids deserve this. Why destroy all the cartilage on their sound leg when they're young? They deserve to have a future.
Absolutely.
We would warn children about loud music and to protect your eardrums. And if we will care about that, we should really care about their lifelong mobility. And this can help preserve that. We got to fight that battle.
And it also teaches healthy habits young, right? So it will help if we get the younger generation these sport devices. Then guess what? Then we have kids who grow up knowing how to run, knowing how to play soccer, enjoying playing basketball, going for walks, whatever it is, whatever sport they find passion. So when they're our age and the body starts going, that movement wasn't too good, your back's going to go out now, right?
Yeah, but
their bodies will be stronger and better able to handle that.
Yeah, it lowers the cost of insurance long term, long care. The healthier a kid is going into adulthood, having done years of discipline, development, habits, healthier lifestyle choices, the less strain they would have on it.
They actually have that study now, right? We didn't have that concrete information before a few years ago. Now they actually have the numbers to prove if you give somebody a device, a prosthetic device within the first year of their recovery, yes, the initial outcome for the insurance company is like 3 times what it would have been. it's not 3 times, so please don't quote me on that, but it was an astronomical difference. But after, I think 4 years, it normalized. After 6 years, the insurance company started working out ahead. So they actually save considerable money in the long run by providing everybody what they need in the first place. Otherwise, they're playing catch up and trying to, okay, well, your back went out, so now take this pill. So now use this brace. So now we all know the game. So this is a fun initiative to get kids what they need. So that's going to be
And
my 2023 project.
it's been a while since we've had to get into the fight, or
Yes.
we've got a fight to get into.
Or really the ability. It's hard to truly advocate for an issue that you feel so passionately about during COVID when so much else was going on.
Oh yeah.
So I think that with COVID lessening, along with what you're saying about bringing more eyes into the technology and more research and things, because that whole area is freed up, I think that's happening with advocacy too. That
Yeah.
first of all, people are no longer afraid to go to Capitol Hill to talk to their legislators. They're actually there. Well, they will be there eventually working and will be able to talk to you. And there's other issues in the world other than COVID, and people are finally now out of that haze and able to see the world beyond that.
And I will tell you all right now that is a hope I have for this year, is to bring more attention, and I'll just tell you all from me personally, to bring more attention to the access that's needed to technology for not just children but beyond. And so we are definitely looking at ways to go about getting the word out, making these studies known and seen.
Exactly.
And utilizing this information in ways that are really going to improve people's lives. Go ahead, James.
Well, that's key. This February, I'll be at the NFL Combine as a keynote. I'm going to bring 2 other amputees, an above the knee and a brand new amputee, with me. And when I'm with the NFL, their initiative of getting everyone inclusive, I'm going to utilize that platform so that we can get more word out. I would love to, anything that you guys give me as ammunition, as a share that, so I can impact and use that. The platform given to us, all the things that are available, I want to make sure that I'm a bullhorn for what we're talking about.
Let's connect before you do that, okay?
Amen.
Yeah, I want to connect you with some people. We'll get that going.
And see, this is like what's going on now. You see that there's movement where we've got these platforms opening up. There's, people are able to connect in more tangible ways, right? And we're able to get people in front of others. On a Zoom call, it's not as easy to see this technology really take off and work for someone and show all of its, flying colors. Right, it's James and his amputee cohorts getting in front of the NFL and saying, look at what it can do. Touch, feel, see, right? We're back to that phase, and there's been a lot of creativity just rolling around in everybody's heads for a while. How can we get this out there? How can we get this out there? And I just see this is our chance to really jump in front of the scene and get it done. Get it done.
Any personal goals for 2023 before we close out?
James?
Yeah, this year is a year of helping others become mentors so that we can reach even more people. Taking our skill sets and the things that we do and broadening that so that we can touch more lives. So this year is about duplication.
And
Mentoring,
Whole Person is launching a mentoring program. So you're going to be able to get certified as a certified amputee mentor through Whole Person very soon.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
Sorry.
Let me say, I'm going to touch on a goal of mine is honestly, like, I'm going to say very specifically, I am doing access to technology this year. My goal is to get in front of someone that can take this to Congress in a very tangible way. that is actually a goal that I have this year, and I am working with someone else to get that done right now.
Yeah, I figured you knew the right people, but I was going to offer to.
Well, it's a hope and a goal. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen 100%, but that is something we are definitely looking at making happen.
Put it out there.
I did.
Put it in there. Yeah, there you go. So mine are not nearly as lofty. My goal is to drink more water because I do not drink enough water. So I'm setting the bar very low for myself this year.
Okay, so that was my way big goal. I'm gonna give you my real local personal goal is to flatten my stomach.
Okay.
I've never had it flat before, and so we're gonna see if
you
that's
lay down,
possible.
it goes flat.
All the air goes out.
Yeah, it does. It's great.
You take the cap off.
What about? So James, what about you?
Real local personal
You were
goal.
mentoring. That's right. Local personal. You're muted.
You gonna lift more? You're not muted. You're muted.
Oh, James is muted. We're having some technical issues. So we can see his smile and he's waving. I think. All right. Well, it was great connecting with everybody.
Uh-oh.
You're saying uh-oh?
Well, I was just gonna say let's see if I can unmute it. I can't unmute. There you
There
go.
it goes. There I am. I was in prison there. I'm out. Free. All right. So, like you said, a personal goal. My only goal is to eat food that Cody doesn't eat. That's it. You know. That's my only goal. But I thank both of you. So my goal is to continue to work with you guys even closer, to do even more. I value, appreciate you. And all the people that we are touching, all that are watching, man, it is great that we're getting to connect with you. And Baker is so phenomenal. What is that number you had for us, Cody, to call, get a hold of Baker?
That would be 817-332-7313.
And if you're listening to this and you're not in Texas, call Baker anyway. We'll help you find somebody who can help you.
Yep. We're well connected.
We've got a whole network. We've got
whole
whole
they're phenomenal.
person network.
Whole person.
There you go. Great talking to both of you. And we will talk again. I think so. In February is the month of love. So, I don't know, but we might be talking about dating with limb loss. So stay tuned. Good chatting with you. Bye.
Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.